Let's start, though, with our own Evyn Moon, who was one of the first on the scene last night. Hi there, Evyn. Obviously a painful moment here and will be for a long time. For so many people, this is a very close-knit neighborhood, as you've seen and learned last night.
Hi, Mark. Yeah, and you can still feel the heartache in this community. Last night, we spoke to a man who believed that he lost his two best friends when the plane came down on their house. Unfortunately, tonight, police confirmed that that was reality. NTSB and the FAA just starting to make sense of what went wrong. And of course, we're here at the hotel. As I was saying, there's a lot of evacuees here, and we were talking to people who live just 2 miles away, a lot of them in mobile home parks, and they say they totally expect that they will not go back to their homes in one piece, but they're hoping that they'll have their lives, they'll have their safety here, and there's such a sense of community. Even in the lobby, there's sort of a potluck among people that know each other from this area, so they're just trying to be positive that at least they'll have their safety here in this hotel.
With more, hi there, Evyn. The insurance crisis also weighing heavily on their minds.
Yeah, Mark, from rising insurance costs to hundreds of thousands in repair costs, people lost everything and they do not want to go through this again. I spoke with realtors as well as 2 residents on this street here in Shore Acres who say they're not coming back. Hi there, Mark. Well, I've spoken with dozens of homeowners across the last several weeks and months. They're frustrated, they're devastated, and now they're being told they might have to tear down and they can never move back into their homes. And they think this is because of extremely low home valuations. But for the first time today, I sat down with the Pinellas County property appraiser, and he answered some questions about these low numbers. It's been a contentious race for Clearwater mayor, but we can confirm tonight that Republican Bruce Rector has won. He will be Clearwater's mayor. He beat out opponent Kathleen Beckman. She was a Democrat and a city councilwoman, and there were watch parties out here in Clearwater tonight.
Evyn Moon live in downtown Tampa tonight, and Evyn, the teams are already here.
That's right. Alabama and Michigan both officially landed in the Sunshine State, and they came to their hotels in downtown Tampa today. They were welcomed by a lot of fans who are very excited. This is a very big game. It's a good thing for Tampa, not just fun times for locals, but also financially bringing millions to our hotels, restaurants, and businesses here.
We want to bring in Fox 13's Evyn Moon live in Estero, where Rick Scott and his campaign are tonight. Evyn, how are they celebrating the win?
Well, you can hear the music. There's been a ton of people all night, but it's official. Rick Scott will keep his job for another 6 years. He won his second term in the U.S. Senate. People have been here since 6 p.m., around 7 p.m. Rick Scott came in, but this race was called really early. It's way different from his first election to be in the U.S. Senate. He only won Florida by 10,000 votes, but this time it was called early by about 8:30 p.m. It's been an expensive and heated race. Rick Scott allegedly spent over $40 million in the state on ads. I know a lot of us have seen those, talking about law enforcement supporting him and his daughter going through IVF treatments. But again, he was very different than his Democratic opponent, and that worked out for him. It paid off. He had his victory speech here in the state, and he can continue his long history in the state. Now, of course, before the Senate, he served 2 terms, 8 years as Florida governor. He says next week he will also be vying for Senate leadership. So this race has huge implications for him right now. And again, that race next week for Senate leadership, he's hoping to push out Mitch McConnell in that role. So that will be big, and we'll have more reporting on that, I assume, next week. Back to you guys.
Evyn, are you at Club Scott? I mean, they are pumping the dance music in there.
Rocking and rolling.
It's hard to keep my thoughts straight, for sure. It's loud. Hi, good morning. Yeah, we can all relax a little bit, stop stressing over those models. It is the end of hurricane season, but we have to remember it's the beginning for a lot of people. A lot of people are at the beginning of rebuilding their homes, restaurants, and entire beach towns. But here's a recap of that brutal 2024 hurricane season. Hi, Allie. Yeah, well, it's still very windy out here. Some of the rain has subsided for now, but last hour when we spoke to you, we were in more residential areas, and the river had already breached. It was going up into the sidewalks and hopefully staying still far away from homes. But now I'm right downtown Newport Richey. We're actually standing on a bridge above the river, and I'm going to have my photographer Scott show you how bad the flooding is even downtown. Hi there. Yeah, I did. It's a sad reality for so many people. They have to move out of their homes, and dozens of homes are for sale in some of these neighborhoods across Tampa Bay. And I'm told in some neighborhoods, all of them are being bought up by investors. It's sort of inevitable as regular homeowners don't want to buy up these homes. But I spoke with some experts in the field today who talked about the pros and cons of this trend. It doesn't, and Tampa Bay is among that list. Tampa ranks 5th worst in the nation right now for home sales. And as you said, a huge reason for this were the hurricanes, the back-to-back hurricanes we saw this fall. Obviously, people don't want to buy in those flood zones, and a lot of people are selling in those flood zones. And according to this report by Redfin, Tampa saw a 7% decrease in home sales. Hi, Chris. Yeah, it was. She was on the flight with most of her family. She had a window seat, and she said when she saw how close the descent got to the ground, she actually thought she might die. We heard her story tonight, and we also stepped inside a 737 flight simulator to see exactly what pilots would have seen and heard when they got to that altitude. Now, special counsel Jack Smith has already confirmed today he will appeal the judge's decision to dismiss the case in Florida. But as we heard from the attorney we spoke with today, this process will take a while, well past the presidential election, when Trump could potentially pardon himself anyways. Chris.
Evyn Moon live for us tonight. Thanks, Evyn.
And Evyn, fireworks just wrapped up. I'm sure they were amazing. How'd they go?
Yeah, we're about to show you some of them. They were loud, they were bright, and they were the first in Tampa Bay. Most people will be seeing them in about 24 hours, but today we got a sneak peek, and I have to say, Lakeland set the bar pretty high for the fireworks this weekend, and all for a good cause.
Outside the arena tonight, so Evyn, man, what a night for these fans. Has the concert actually started?
It hasn't yet. She still hasn't taken the stage, but there's been a ton of excitement all night. It's been a highly anticipated concert. She hasn't been in Tampa since 1985, and then you said it, she was supposed to play in September, but the whole tour got postponed, so people are just itching for her to take the stage. Watching just in the last hour has been really scary. We've seen the water come up feet by feet, and now we saw a bunch of emergency response vehicles tell us to get out of the area, and they told us they shut down US 19. And if you guys can stay with us, we're actually going to walk down Gulf Boulevard, because right back here is neighborhoods where people, you can see the water coming up the street. There's flooding in these neighborhoods, and I saw people walking towards their homes, and it got to waist high. And if you can see, I'm not sure if you can see, but this group of people is putting a jet ski in the water to try to save people who have stayed in their homes. And this is what officials were warning about. We actually stepped inside because we were just getting beaten down by the wind and the rain, but we're going to step inside the lobby and actually show you some of the community that's taking place here tonight. Again, a lot of these people came from just 2 miles down the road. In mobile home parks and homes that they didn't feel safe in, and now they're here weathering the storm together. Hi, Linda. Yeah, we were here last night, and we saw the eye of the storm. We saw some of the worst wind gusts. I was telling you guys from our hotel that we were in last night, it sounded like a jet engine outside of our window, and now, of course, today we're seeing what some of that wind damage did. Now, at our hotel, we were speaking with residents of the area who had evacuated there for their safety. They told us they got calls last night finding out that their homes were destroyed, and now this is their neighborhood. This is what we're seeing. You can tell all of this was enclosed. Their walls are completely thrown onto the street. You can see their furniture, their couch, their desk, their kitchen.
With more, Evyn, you spoke with her about why she believes her son would still be alive if not for social media.
It's a tragic story. Her son died while recording himself playing a deadly game of Russian roulette. She believes her son was fed these dangerous ideas by social media platforms, and now in a lawsuit against all Meta platforms, she says these algorithms led to her son's death.
Kicks off in, what, just less than an hour?
That's right. Can you believe they've been doing this for 43 years? I mean, this has been happening in this community to bring people together and start the holiday season. And I can tell you, it's my first year out here, but there are hundreds of people. When we came out early this afternoon, chairs were already all lined up. Let me go ahead and show you just how many people are out here now. I was actually talking to some people out here, one named Ryan. Scott, come to me and Ryan. Ryan has been coming to this parade for a few years. Hi, Ryan. What do you love about coming out here?
I just love the way that it brings the community of Lakeland together, and everybody's here to celebrate the holiday spirit. And yeah, I've been coming here since I was a little guy, so this always just hits home in my heart. So
any favorite floats that you can remember?
They used to have like a Noah's Ark float, and it was like a huge boat, and like that just was my favorite growing up.
Oh my gosh,
so.
I love that. Well, thank you, Ryan.
Yes,
I hope you have fun tonight. And I think that's a huge thing. We talk about it all the time, but welcoming Christmas this season, especially after the really hard fall we've had in Tampa Bay with both hurricanes, I think events like this bring normalcy, they bring people together, and we can start to celebrate the holidays. That's what we all love, right? I got my snowman earrings on to celebrate.
Yeah.
You were
Awesome.
blinging.
I love
it. You were
it.
blinging for sure.